This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, this is a video that's important to do, and you guys need to be sharing it on your social media platforms and sending it to every man and his dog so people understand exactly what the dealio is with DAZN and Sky Sports. Because I'm hearing quite a bit of stupidity from the other side of the water, where they're saying that there was no reason why Joshua versus Wilder couldn't have happened on BT Sport. Therefore, Joshua could have accepted the 50 million. Joshua is free to fight wherever. Now, you see, I don't listen to these channels. I only know about them because the likes of Sean Newton, Bruce Fain, Boxing Librarian, etc. just terrorize these people and put them in their place for their blatant stupidity. Okay, so I don't really respond to those kind of things, but I enjoy listening to Sean Newton, Bruce Fain, Boxing Librarian, etc. Just humiliate them. But this one is something that needs to be done. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be ironed out. And it's a very, very simple thing, but these people can't seem to get their head around it because for whatever reason, the Anthony Joshua haters, the Eddie Hearn haters who want to keep coming up with narratives and absolute garbage, just keep on lying. They just lie about these things, even though it's obvious, okay? And you know who some of them are, because when they speak, it's because their mouth is moving, but the brain hasn't kicked in, okay? The brain hasn't caught up with the mouth yet, okay? Because they're lying and they don't know quite how to get out of it, because lies are just naturally falling out of their mouth like verbal diarrhea, and they don't quite know how to get out of it, which is why they go, that's why. Now, this one is a very, very simple one. I'm going to try and make it as short as I possibly can with Sky Sports and DAZN, and why Anthony Joshua could not accept the 50 million because Frank Warren confirmed that the 50 million was in fact coming from BT Sport. Okay, so Joshua versus Wilder, had Joshua had accepted the 50 million, they were looking to put it onto BT Sport because they paid the money. Right? In other words, they were buying the event. And when you buy an event, you own everything. You own where the fight's going to be, when it's going to be, what platforms it's going to be shown on across the world. Okay? Ordinarily, that's fine. But when it comes to Anthony Joshua, it has to be on Sky Sports in the UK. It cannot be BT Sport. And people try and compare it with the fact that Anthony Joshua is not contracted to fight on DAZN. In other words, his fights don't have to be on DAZN. So the deal that Sky Sports and DAZN have, not just for Joshua, but for any pay-per-view on Sky Sports. So, for example, Usyk versus Bellew, Dylan White versus Derek Chisora, the rematch, for example. Okay, so Bellew versus Usyk, that was shown on DAZN. Chisora and White were shown on Showtime. Why? Because Dylan White chose to have it on Showtime. Much like Anthony Joshua can choose to, whoever it is that he fights, he could go to Showtime if Showtime put up the most money. So DAZN's deal with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom and Sky Sports, the unison that these guys have is that all fights that are shown on Sky Sports will be and must be shown on DAZN, except pay-per-view events. Okay, so the pay-per-views that we have here in the UK, namely Joshua, Dylan White, etc., don't have to be shown on DAZN. But DAZN do have first refusal. Okay, so DAZN can say, right, okay, we won that event, this is how much we're prepared to pay. Showtime can say, yeah, okay, but we're willing to pay this much, ESPN, but we're willing to pay this much. And then, for example, if Showtime offered to pay more money than DAZN, they then go back to DAZN and say, look, listen, right, this is how much Showtime's offering. Can you better it? And if DAZN say yes, then DAZN get it. If DAZN say, well, no, we can't, then Showtime will get it. Okay, that's how it works with pay-per-view on Sky Sports. So Anthony Crolla versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Okay, that's an excellent fight. You'd have to heavily favour Lomachenko in that one, okay? But because these guys have been mandated to fight each other, it can go to purse bid if these guys can't agree a deal. If Eddie Hearn wins that purse bid, he can then put it on DAZN. If he doesn't, Bob Arum could put it on ESPN. Do you see what I mean? But people in America, sorry, not people in America, some channels coming from America don't quite understand this point. Okay, so when it comes to Joshua versus Wilder, for example, and Wilder offered this 50 million via his Instagram, and yes, Wilder offered it, not Shelley Finkel, not Al Heyman, not anybody of any kind of great importance who actually had the money, right? Or who could get the money. But no, it was Wilder who did it via Instagram. The money's in the bag. And by the way, you got 24 hours to accept it, right? Even though you don't know the terms, the details, or nothing. Okay? Because I want to buy the event. And I said, you can buy the event. Just that here in the UK, it must be shown on Sky Sports. Cannot be BT Sport, cannot be anywhere. Because it's a voluntary defense from Anthony Joshua. The only possible scenario right now would be is if Anthony Joshua had to fight a mandatory. For example, Kubrat Pulev, he's a mandatory. So if it goes to purse bid and Pulev's team, say Bob Arum and that, win the purse bid, they can choose what platform it gets showed on here in the UK. And there's nothing Sky Sports can do about it. Okay? If Tyson Fury became mandatory for Anthony Joshua and Frank Warren won the purse bid, then again, he can choose BT Sport. Okay? It's that kind of scenario. So even a fight with Joshua and Tyson Fury, if these guys was to agree terms today, I know Frank Warren's saying about a dual broadcasting. Again, that's not up to Joshua. That's not up to Eddie Hearn. That's not up to Frank Warren. This is down to BT Sport and Sky Sports agreeing. Sky Sports don't have to agree because they own the rights for Anthony Joshua. Okay? So, it's very simple, isn't it? DAZN have first refusal and last refusal. So if Joshua versus Wilder was to happen, it could go on Showtime. It doesn't have to go on DAZN, but it could go on DAZN. So if Eddie Hearn owns the event, then it can go on DAZN. But likewise, he could choose Showtime if Showtime offer more money. If Team Wilder want to own the event and are stumping up all the cash, again, choose whatever platform you want. If you want Showtime, if you want ESPN, wherever the hell. If you want DAZN, you can choose whatever you want. But in the UK, it must be Sky Sports. So all the people out there trying to make out that Joshua could have and should have accepted the 50 million, even though Sky Sports could have sued Anthony Joshua for a huge chunk of that 50 million, or potentially all of it. Who knows? Joshua could have ended up having to pay a bit more on top of it and end up fighting Wilder for a minus, right? But anyway, it is what it is. So that's why Joshua had to turn it down. In addition to the fact he didn't know the damn terms and conditions anyway. So luckily for him, he did turn it down. Okay? So hopefully that puts things into perspective. As I say, shared around. Because there's some idiots over there who seem to think that there was no reason in the world why Joshua couldn't have fought on BT Sport because Eddie Hearn said so. No, Eddie Hearn did not say so. Eddie Hearn was talking about DAZN. Anthony Joshua is a free agent outside of Sky Sports in the UK. He can fight on any platform, or any platform can show his fights throughout the world that he chooses. Him, Eddie Hearn, Freddie Cunningham, etc. Anthony Joshua's team can choose whoever if they own the event, which they will own the event because he's the champion, right? But, as I said, mandatory situations can change all that. So hopefully this is clear now, that DAZN do not own Anthony Joshua, so a fight with Wilder and Joshua does not have to be on DAZN. Like Dillian Whyte against Derek Chisora. See, that was Sky Sports pay-per-view here. DAZN didn't automatically get it, but they did get first refusal and last refusal. But Dillian Whyte chose Showtime. Well, does that make sense? Okay? Anyway, hopefully it does. I know there's probably still some idiots over there, like some of the channels, who just still can't get it. They just won't get their head around it because they don't want to get their head around it. But Eddie Hearn said this and Eddie Hearn said that. No, Eddie Hearn didn't say this and Eddie Hearn didn't say that. You misunderstood Eddie Hearn. It's a very, very simple process. All fights on Sky Sports shown on DAZN, except the pay-per-views. But DAZN do have first and last refusal. Okay? Very, very simple. So, as I said, hopefully some of these people will get their head around it. Please stop your lying, okay? Stop lying. Stop twisting things to suit your narrative and stop bumbling when you talk. It's ridiculous, okay? We know you're lying. We know why you're lying. We know you don't want Wilder versus Joshua. We know you want Joshua to be looked on as somebody who ducked Wilder, when it's plainly obvious it was Wilder who ducked Joshua. He's just turned down 40%. How much is 40%? You decide. You guys were saying how the fight could be 100, 200 million. So how much did Wilder turn down, really, when he's offered 40%? Could well be way more than the 50 million, the fake offer that he offered Joshua, right? Anyway, that's what's going on. Hopefully it was simplified for you. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, and of course subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.